What's better than just your standard normal meatloaf? This one's got a secret in the middle. Meatloaf with a cheesy center. That's what we're gonna make today in the air fryer. Hey, thank you so much for joining me here at Annie's Smoking Pot. It is a beautiful fall day, and I thought, what better to cook than meatloaf? It's comfort food, it's good for you, it's nutritious, and there's always leftovers the next day. So that's what we're gonna do right now, is get it ready. We have got just hamburger. This is an 80-20 blend. Normally I like to use 90-10, but I had 80-20. That's what we're using. And then some Jimmy Dean sausage, not a sponsor, but you can use any pork sausage that you'd like. And that's just gonna go right on in there. And then to that, we're gonna add some onion. Probably not this whole thing. I'll kind of judge it as I go. That's a great thing with cooking. You can always add more, but you can't take away. And I'm just gonna dice it up into thin little slices, or thin little dices, I guess it would be. And this is just a sweet onion this time. I'm sure you already know this if you've caught my channel before. Down in the description is the full recipe with all the ingredients we're using, the measurements, everything. It's kind of right next to that subscribe button, you know, subscribe, hint, hint. All right, let's see what we got going on here. I think that's a fair dinkum amount. That's what we're gonna use. We're just gonna add that into the bowl. And we've also got some red bell pepper. You can use any color that you like. If you like green bell pepper, use green bell pepper. If you don't like have red and you've got yellow, you've got orange, doesn't matter. You can use any color you want. I just love the red and the oranges, and I know I say it all the time, but you know what? I'm just gonna keep repeating myself. Because of the spices that we're gonna be using, the sweet pepper is going to be fantastic in this dish. And again, we're gonna dice it is what we're doing. You can add in as much or as little as you want. And the last thing we're gonna chop up into this delicious, delicious meatloaf is a jalapeno. This was like a last minute decision on my part. I had a jalapeno, needed to get used up, and I thought, you know what, let's add a little kick to this meatloaf. Why not? Just play with your food. I think playing with food is so much fun. I am the type of person who I get up in the morning, I haven't even had my coffee yet, and I'm already thinking about what am I going to make for food today. I think about it when I go to bed at night. I'm gonna add that to the bowl as well. Now for some more fun. First thing we wanna do is this is half heavy cream and half water, just to thin it out a bit. I just didn't have milk. If you've got milk, use milk by all means, it works just as well. I'm gonna add some breadcrumbs to that because I want it to soften up. Just gonna mix that up. This just kind of helps break it up a little bit more in the meatloaf so that you don't end up with big clumps of breadcrumbs in there. It helps to moisten it up, which helps in the cooking process as well. So while that moistens up, add some spices. Are you ready? We've got equal parts of parsley and thyme. We've got black pepper and kosher salt, smoky paprika, because it's gonna give it a little bit of smoky flavor, and some minced garlic. And you're just gonna dump it all right on in there. And last but not least, an egg. As always, crack an egg into a different container. That way, if you get a shell, you can pick it out way easier than trying to dig through the meat to find that rogue shell. And we're gonna dump that in as well. And that bread mixture that we put together, we're gonna add that in as well. And it is gonna look really thick like a paste, but it's okay. That is your binder. That's what's gonna hold all this delicious meatloaf together. Easiest way, get in there with your hands now and mix. Mixa, mixa, mixa. You want to make sure and just break it all up really well and get that sausage and the hamburger and all those ingredients incorporated. Oh my gosh, that was a lot of work. Whew. All right, now we're gonna lose the gloves. Remember I told you we had a cheesy center to this guy? Right here, little baby bells. Right now, let's just get them all opened up. There is our last one. Let's get your air fryer going right now. We're gonna go 375 for about 30 minutes. If it takes longer than the 30 minutes, it's gonna pop up right here for you, right above my head, just in case, so that you'll know. Here we go. We're gonna put just a little bit of the meat mixture right in the bottom of that pan. And looking at this, this is going to be enough meat to make 2 mini meatloaf pans. I don't know if I told you that. I am not using a standard size meatloaf pan because my air fryer is not that big. So these I think are like a 7-inch meatloaf pan versus the standards are like 9 inches. And what we're doing is we're just putting a little bit right there, then got it all leveled out, and then these little guys, we're just gonna line them up just like that, right down the center. And I am leaving a little bit of space at the end there because I don't want it to go too far. And you can move them around, you know, make sure don't crowd them too much. Just like that, right down the center. And then we're gonna cover it now with the rest of the meatloaf mixture for this pan. And I have a feeling I'm gonna be getting in there with my hands. I'm gonna try not to, but I think it's gonna happen. And you wanna pack it down in there all the way around that cheese so that every little side, the ends, all of it is stuffed with that meatloaf mixture, and then across the top as well. And you don't want to go too far over the top of your pan because we are going to be putting a sauce on it when we've got about 10 minutes left in that cook time. And I think this is perfect. Try to flatten it out as much as you can as well so that you've got a nice level top. That will ensure even cooking. All right, let's put it in the air fryer. That's got some weight to it. And in it goes. So let's go ahead and get our glaze ready right now. The glaze consists of just your standard ketchup, some brown sugar, a little Worcestershire sauce, a little garlic powder, black pepper, and onion powder. That's it. And that's going right in there. Just mix this up. Make sure you've got all those lumps of brown sugar are broken up, and then just set it aside. And I'll meet you back here in 20 minutes and we'll add that glaze to the meatloaf. This is what it looks like after the initial 30 minutes. We got to that internal temp of about 150 that I wanted. Now I'm gonna put our glaze on, then we're gonna put it back in. Just coat that whole top with this, awesome, awesome glaze. And back in it goes. So this extra meat that I had left over, my husband and I can't eat 2 meatloafs. So I'm gonna put it in this pan. I'm not gonna do a cheesy center on this one. This one will just be just your standard meatloaf now. It's not quite a full pan of meatloaf. This would be a great sandwich, an open-faced sandwich when it's a little thinner like this. It'd be perfect. And I'm just gonna wrap it in foil, throw it in my freezer, and then it's ready to go. The next time I want meatloaf for dinner, I'll just throw it in my air fryer and cook it off. And there you have it, ready for the freezer. It's done. Everybody's air fryer is different. Whew. So just make sure 165, that's what you want that internal temp to be. Are you ready to see what that looks like on the inside? Because I sure am. Oh, look at that cheesy goodness right there in the middle. I might be drooling just a little bit. Oh my gosh. Oh, it just looks fantastic. And there we go. Meatloaf with a cheesy center. And then what I did is I added a little bit of the juice that came from the meatloaf into my gravy just to kind of put all those flavors together in one delicious bite. Nothing left to do but try it. I'm going in. Oh, it is cooked to perfection. Oh my gosh. I don't know what to say. You know what? Add the jalapeños. It's not spicy, but you get that flavor from it. Oh gosh, the pepper, the onion, the seasoning, that smoky paprika. You can use regular paprika if you like, but if you've got smoky, go for it. And that glaze on top is absolutely delicious. Let me know what you think, for sure. As always though, thank you so much for joining me here at Annie's Smoking Pot, and until next time, bye.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.